Yeah, so north of the 10 is pretty much the 10 freeway in California. North of that freeway is Hollywood. And so moving to LA from Minnesota, the Midwest, in my mind, I'm like, if I get to LA, I made it. If I get to California, like, I made it. And I ended up in Inglewood, California, in a 1-bedroom with 5 guys, sleeping head to foot. And I was like, this ain't what I envisioned California being. And I was like, realized like I need to actually get north of the 10, like I need to get to the good part of LA, you know what I mean? And so in my mind, I wanted to tell a story of, you know, a group of young cats trying to succeed in the industry. And, you know, they had Entourage, which was like a group of people like that. But I wanted to tell like a story of how I came up with me and my black brothers in Inglewood or in the hood. But me and Ryan thought it would be doper, since we're from Chicago, instead of making it, we're already in LA, to have a story about a brotherhood in Chicago trying to make it all the way to California. And then once we realized it was deeper than just trying to make it in California, but make it in life, wherever you are, north of the 10 became a mindset of, you know what I'm saying, if you want to be the best in your corporation, that's north of the 10, like breaking the barriers. And so this movie, man, really came about by me wanting to tell my story of trying to succeed and all of the hurdles I had to face trying to become a supermodel or a working actor or a rapper, you know what I mean? Like all of these things. But I wanted to do it in a funny way and pick fun at myself and let people kind of laugh at my failures instead of making it like so serious, because I thought that would be, it'd be cooler. I feel like if people can laugh, if you can laugh through your pain, then you can really enjoy it. From north of the 10, man, I really want people to be motivated when they see this. I want them to feel inspired to do something to become better in their life. And I want people to see that you can do it on your own. Like the film, we show how we utilize social media from the beginning, you know what I mean? And we utilize a platform to create our own lanes. And I want people to leave this film being like, you know what, I'm gonna create my own lane for whatever I want in life, and I'm not gonna wait for nobody else to do it. I'm just gonna start doing it. And I want people to feel joy. You know, it's a weird cloud of darkness on the world right now with COVID and, you know what I'm saying, people depressed and scared and stressed. I want people to just leave out of the theater feeling happy, feeling inspired, feeling motivated. You know what I'm saying? Call up one of their best friends and be like, yo, let's start a business venture together and make some money together. You know, like that's what I want people to do after this film. The feeling to come back to Chicago and do my first movie where I was born, you know what I'm saying, where my pops is from, like, it was the most surreal feeling to me to do it for Chicago. You know, my dad would always preach Chicago, Chicago, my uncle, Chicago. I'd always come back to Chicago and spend time with the family, and they'd always be, why don't you move back to Chicago? Why don't you come live in Chicago? So to come and do my first film in Chicago, it was surreal to me, man. And if my pops was here right now, I would have threw him in the film, but he passed. But Chicago, I love Chicago, man. They welcomed us with open arms. And it's funny because a lot of people think that like I'm from Chicago, like I was raised here, but I just spent some time here. But yeah, to do the film for Chicago is amazing. Ryan's from Chicago, so to see, you know what I'm saying, his heart in it is everything. On this journey of north of the 10, I'm still learning, even today, you know, but what I have learned is it is hard as shit to get a movie made. And it is stressful. And I've been watching Ryan and my team of producers rip their hair out trying to finish this film. And so I commend them on all of us reaching the finish line. But it takes a unit, it takes a team. There's not just one man that gets something done. And I've really seen what it's like to have the right people on board of a project to get it done, and people really trusting each other and leaning on each other, because, you know, we just go to the movies and we watch a movie. We don't think about what goes into it. But to really be behind the scenes and see all the different dynamics that it takes to get a movie made is crazy. And that's one thing that I really learned is how to take different pieces from everybody and use them to get this one cohesive project made. funny behind the scenes moments. It's crazy because like the cast on this film, when the cameras was rolling and not rolling, everybody was just constantly like cracking jokes on everybody. There wasn't too much pranks. I think we were all so crunched for time and trying to get this movie shot in those 21 days. But, you know, Wes was sleeping a lot. So I think he was the one that we were always picking on. Like whenever he was sleeping, we'd put stuff on him, put his hands in water, put, you know, like trying to like do the most to Wes. Like he was the one that always got attacked. He was always sleeping. But for the most part, we was pretty focused. Like we had that 21-day deadline and we were like, we got to get this movie made. So there wasn't too much craziness offset with this film, luckily. One lesson I really learned from Ryan Lamar on this film, I really made sure to ask him a lot of questions. So as he was going through the line producing with the budgets, as he was going through the casting, as we're going through pretty much everything, he would keep me in the loop of everything. Like, yo, so this is how we get it going with the financiers. This is kind of how we get the budgets put together. This is how we get the scheduling put together. In the casting, he had me in the Zoom calls as we were casting the film together. So he really let me be a part of this process with him instead of just being like, okay, you know, you're our actor, you brought your talent on, now sit over here. He really helped me understand the game and let me be a part of the whole vision.